Hi everyone, and welcome to Adding Fractions with Teacher Bob, where today we're going to look at how to add fractions with unlike denominators. And thanks for joining us. So when I draw a picture of a fraction, as I mentioned in another video just previous to this, I like to draw circles. They're easy to divide into equal parts. And if I was to draw this circle and I divided it into two, hopefully fairly equal parts, and I was to shade the top part, just like so, I can describe this as a fraction 1 over 2, or 1 out of 2, or 1/2. The top of the fraction is called our numerator, and our numerator simply tells us the part of the fraction that we're interested in. The bottom of the fraction is called the denominator, and that tells us how many pieces the whole is divided into. So in this case, the circle that I drew is divided into two equal parts, more or less, and the part that we're interested in is the shaded part. So we have one part out of two parts, which is what the whole has been divided into. Now we're going to talk about adding today, adding fractions. And when we add fractions, we need our bottom denominators to have the same numbers. For example, if I was to give you the question 3/4 or 3/4 plus, well, 1/4, that would equal 4 over 4, or our whole. We have 1 plus 3 plus 1 on the top. It's equal to 4, and our bottoms stay the same. We have common denominators. Common simply means they're the same, and they do have to be the same. We have to add the same types of fractions. Here's another example. If I asked you to add 3/8 plus 1/8, well, no problem. The bottom stays the same. It's an eighth. And we add the top. Top's 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. When possible, we like to simplify our fractions. And what that means is we want to make our fractions with smaller numbers. And in this case, the 4 and the 8 can be divided, each number by 4. Now there's only two operations that we can do with fractions. When we do our division here, we get a new fraction of 1 over 2. So it's not only new, it is equivalent, meaning it has the same proportion. 1/2, this is what we have up here, would look the same as if we had divided our whole into 8 pieces and we had 4 out of the 8 pieces. That's still half. Which would you prefer? 1/2 of a pizza or 4 pieces out of 8? As long as they're the same size, it doesn't matter. They're equivalent. Now, today we're going to talk about adding fractions when our denominators are not the same numbers. And if I gave you the question 1/2 plus 2/4, we could not add these fractions just the way they are. We would have to make the bottoms the same. And we can do this by either dividing the top and the bottom by a number or multiplying by a number. All we can do with the fraction is multiply or divide. And we have to do that to both the top and the bottom when we're changing our denominator. They're jealous numbers. They want to be treated the same. So there are two different ways we can do this. We can make the 2 into a 4 by timesing the bottom by 2. And our new fraction would be, for the first one, 2 over 4. And our second fraction remains the same, 2 over 4. And we're going to have, again, like we had up here, 4 over 4. If I had said 1 out of 4 for the second fraction, then we'd get the answer 3 out of 4. Okay, what if I asked you to add, let me see here, 1/3 plus 2/6. Well, we could change the 6 to a 3 by, because our first fraction has a 3 on the bottom, we can divide the 6 by 2 to get 3. And what we do to the top or the bottom, we have to do the same to the other side of the fraction mark here. So let's rewrite this. 1/3 plus 2 divided by 2 on the top here is equal to 1. And 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3. And we can add the tops now. 1 plus 1 is 2. The bottoms stay the same. This just simply tells us the type of fraction that we have. So they are thirds. So in this case, 1/3 plus 2/6 equal 2/3. When we have a fraction that we can reduce or simplify, we will divide the top and the bottom by a number that both numbers can divide into. Don't forget, rule about making equivalent fractions: only use multiplication and division. If you add or subtract, your fractions will not be equivalent. You will get a different proportion, a different fraction. 1/2 changed to by adding numbers to the top and the bottom will not equal 1/2. Well, thank you for joining me, and we'll stop there. And please check in for my next video on adding and subtracting mixed and improper fractions, and we'll talk a little bit more about reducing as well. Bye for now, and please click on that subscribe button to help our channel. Thanks a lot. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.